Greetings, this is Vlodril and welcome to the mini review for Urban Strife. This game was in early access for a while and now it's out, so let us see if it is worth it. But first things first. You start the game by, predictably perhaps, crashing while on an ambulance trying to get away from zombies or something. They never do show you. You are saved by Kaylee and you go through a small tutorial where the game explains how stealth and combat works. Pretty basic stuff. After finishing the tutorial, you faint and you get transported by Kaylee, which must be super strong, to the settlement. You wake up and find out you are immune to the zombie virus. You get a quest to find the sheriff and another character to fix the radio. From then on, you basically become the de facto leader of everyone, since you decide where to go and what to do. You decide on the choices out on the map, and while upgrading the settlement, you decide what it is to be built. No one tells you anything about this, by the way. It happens automatically, so if you were expecting a lot of role-playing out of this game, you will be sorely disappointed. Urban Strife builds itself as a role-playing game, but it's not much of one. Your character has no, character, really. There is some superficial traits from your companions, but in general, there is not much thought on how or why things are happening, which, unfortunately, it's not that unusual in gaming. You go around the map and gather resources because you need a set amount each day. If you run out, you get 24 hours to find the resources, or it's game over. I don't think it was really a problem since the various areas have resources aplenty. There are various factions where you can ally yourself with. You can get blueprints and build special things, but in general the whole game feels very by the book. Another black mark for the whole RPG-ness of the game is that you do not level up really. You get a +1 to one of the 4 or 5 stats once in a blue moon, and that is it. Each character has a trait and nothing else. Probably one of the worst offenders in the game is the terrible UI. Visually, it's nice, but it is very poorly thought out and just makes doing most things a chore. There are no individual buttons for a character or a journal, for example. Everything is in escape, which opens the tabs the game offers. When you want to share resources with your companions, since there is a weight limit, they must be standing next to you, otherwise you cannot give them anything, so you have to move them around all the time. The salvage screen is also a chore since you scroll down a list to find the things you want to salvage, and when you do so, it brings you to the top of the list again, so you have to re-scroll down again and again. Even in the base building, when you donate resources, you have to drop them all in the stash or have them on you, and then go to each different NPC which wants different things to donate them there. There is no centralized way to do it. Now, let's get to combat. There are different melee weapons and guns, so that is fine. The weapons sound good too. The thing I mostly liked about it was the Overwatch function, which works different than most games. You pick an area to Overwatch and you use your weapons as long as you have action points. When you have a melee weapon though, the moment someone steps inside your Overwatch, the character will walk there and use the weapon. So you can kill multiple people, especially since melee seems to be hilariously overpowered. With ranged weapons you have the noise issue and the ammo preservation need, and your odds fluctuate depending on your range. Nothing of the sort with melee. Just go next to an enemy and you have a 95% chance to hit even on the head. So 1 or 2 strikes will take down most people. The only negative about the melee is that the enemies can interrupt you at the start of combat, so you can move next to them to attack them and they might interrupt and attack you. Even if a zombie is lying down, it will slowly get up and then hit you, instead of you just hitting it while it's doing that. So, not a lot of positives so far, but maybe the writing will be something to lean on, you might think. I'm afraid not. Most quests have zero depth behind them. They are all go there and kill those things. Go there and find this thing. That is pretty much it. For as long as I played anyway. Combine that with a lack of actual characters and the game is very shallow. have seen the game compared to Just Alliance, but A. Those are much better games, and B. The game closely resembles Dead State to me, and Dead State, despite the lack of production values, was a much better game. I would say, if they were aiming for a role-playing game, they missed the mark completely. If you add to that the price, which while not overly expensive, is still pretty high for what the game is, about €35 or dollars, I would say Urban Strife is a pass. Maybe you could try it out and see if it clicks with you, but I would suggest a much lower price for it. Alright, that is it for this mini review. Thank you for watching. As always, feel free to leave me a comment or suggestion on the review or other games you would like me to cover. Press the like button if you enjoyed it and feel free to subscribe to be notified when more previews or reviews go online. Apart from YouTube, you can find me on Twitter, Steam and everywhere else as Vlodril. Have a great day and I will see you next time.